Hello, everyone, and welcome to our new podcast. Listen, I'm excited today. You better get excited today.
Yes.
Sisters in Ministry. I'm talking about real sisters. We are sisters for real. I'm
Right.
Pastor T.
And I'm Minister D. We are indeed sisters in ministry, and we're so excited to have you join us today.
Listen here, I've been waiting for this all week long. I've been driving my sister crazy. I
Mhm.
got to tell you, I'm the older sister. She's the younger sister.
Yes.
So sometimes I feel like I'm in charge, even though I'm not. And so I'll call, oh, and this is what we need to do and do. But I am so elated that God has blessed us to get to this point that we are able to just share on
Yes, yes.
today with you. Listen,
Oh, yes.
on today's show, we are diving into a topic that is very close to our hearts: sibling strength, building bonds that last.
That's right, Pastor T. Today, we'll explore the power of a strong sibling bond, relationship, and how it fortifies both our personal and ministerial lives. So let's get started.
Yes, my sister, let's get started. The first thing that we're going to start with is introduction to the importance of sibling bonds. You know, as a sibling, our bonds are the most important and most significant relationship that we have in our lives. They are often our first friends, our partners in crime, and our lifelong companions.
Exactly. These bonds are not just about shared genetics or childhood memories. They form a foundational support system that influence our emotional well-being, resilience, and even our spiritual growth.
Listen here, Minister D. Let me tell you, I can remember, our parents and us growing up, and our
Mhm.
parents reminding us that how important we are to each other as brothers and sisters, with our brothers as well. And a lot of
Mhm.
times we would be like, okay, yeah, I got to tell y'all, I couldn't go anywhere if I didn't take my little sister with me. My mama was not playing that with me. What do you think, Minister D?
Well, I think it helped you to kind of stay on track and do all the things that you're supposed to do because you had me with you. If not, then maybe you would have got into some things you didn't need to get into.
Yes, because listen here, I always had a plan in motion, something that we were going to do. And then
Yeah.
all I had to do was convince everyone to come along with me. Okay, guys, I can get off track. We'll get back to it. Listen, in ministry, the strength of our sibling relationships can greatly impact our effectiveness and endurance. When we have a solid, loving relationship with our siblings, it acts as a buffer against the stresses and challenges we face in our work.
I agree with that. A strong sibling bond provides a sense of security and belonging. It helps us feel understood and supported, which is crucial when we're dealing with the demands of ministry. Knowing that someone truly knows you, shares your history, and genuinely cares for you can be incredibly empowering.
Yes, it can. Because here's the thing: as I pastored over the years and you ministered over the years, there are things that come up, not just on that ministry platform, but in your life, your personal life, where you need
Yes.
someone that you can share it with, that you know
Mhm.
that they will keep it, but they will
Yes, yes.
also be able to help you talk through it, work through it, pray through it until you get it resolved and you feel better about it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
How about you? Have you experienced that, Minister D?
Oh, yes, I have. It's been times that I've had things going on, and Pastor T, which she still called me a baby minister sometimes. She have the influence because she's been doing ministry for a long, long time, over 20 some years. And she'll bring me back to where I need to be and guide me in the way that I need to go. Secondly, siblings provide a sense of continuity and stability, which I get that a lot when I call
Mhm.
Pastor T for any spiritual advice or any other kind of advice. In the ever changing landscape of life and ministry, having a sibling, especially when you're a girl and you have a big sister who's in ministry as well, and who has been through thick and thin, can be a grounding force for your ministerial life.
Yes, it can be. The thing for me, and I left it out at the first part when I was saying, is the thing is that you get that empathy that you need from
Hmm.
someone that says, "Hey, I understand it. It's okay if you want to cry. It's
Right,
okay if that hurt your feelings. It's
right,
okay if you thought it was going to go one way and it
right,
went another way." Because a lot of times we can't live that out loud right before people
right.
because of the position that we're in. You know, you
That's
have,
right.
you're a minister, I'm a minister, and so it has to be that you have that person. And I tell you, I'm so
Hmm.
blessed in my life that I'm able to call my sister, and she not only be my sister, but she also be my sister in ministry and understand
Yes,
some of the
yes.
roles and responsibilities that I face.
Right.
Listen, these relationships teach us about love, they teach us about forgiveness, they teach us about reconciliation, the inevitable conflicts and resolutions within sibling relationship. They mirror the relational dynamics that we encounter in broader ministry contexts. They really do. Sometimes when we're younger, I can remember when we get upset about something, never realizing that these things were really helping to shape us in
Hmm.
ministry, and
Yes.
how we would need to be able to be empathetic, understand others, and be able to navigate through that. So some of that we experience as siblings, and then being the children of a leading pastor, a leading first lady that was
Yes.
so heavily involved in so many things, we got a firm foundation.
Yes.
These bonds, they are just so essential. The emotional support, the growth, they're crucial for sustaining us in ministry. Now here's some questions, Minister D, that we have, and I think both you and I are going to have to try to answer these. I love
Okay.
this. We're on this podcast and we're getting to be relaxed. A lot of times people
Yes.
only see us in our official capacity. How
Hmm.
have your sibling relationships influenced your personal and ministerial life?
Well, it has influenced it. I can remember when I first got into ministry, I was very afraid, and I would stop and think about, well, oh my God, who can I call that will understand, everything that's going on? Because when you're first called into ministry, you don't quite understand some things, and it was just awesome to be able to have a sister that had already been in ministry for oh my good God, I think over back during that time it was probably over 12 years that you had already been
Mhm,
into ministry before
mhm.
I even attempted uh, to answer that call. So I was blessed to have a big sister that knew what to say to me, knew what to tell me, and even though um, I didn't know how to do the spiritual side and have
Mhm,
the earthly side as well, my sister was able
mhm.
to guide me, and she could feel the pains that I was going through, and she could just talk to me and guide me in the way I needed to go to get the support that I need to be a minister, because it was hard for me, and it seemed like
Mhm.
it just was second nature for her. Which everything in life has been that way with my
Well,
sister.
you
She's
know what?
always been that big sister that
No.
could do it. I never had to think twice. If they said she was up to do it, I was not worried about it. The only thing that it did for me, it raised the expectation of me following behind her. So I had to learn how to live up to the expectations that people had. And just having her as a big sister and guiding me and telling me what I needed to do, it made it very easy to pursue my ministerial career, because I was afraid to call it first. So
Well, I can,
with her being
yeah, and I can
a big
understand that.
sister leading, it was awesome.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
can understand that. And I can go back
Yes.
to, here's what's funny. Sometimes we think that, a person
Mhm.
has been really instrumental in our life, but really in exchange, they've been instrumental in yours. Because I can remember when I was first called to preach, and I was calling you and I was calling mom, and you all were really basically the ones saying, yeah, you can do it. Go for it. You've been called to
Mhm.
do that. And it was like, I don't know if I should do that many times. I had those moments when I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. And every single time, I can honestly say, my sister always said, yes, you can do it. Go for that. No, you can get it done. And so just by
Yes.
having that in my life, being able to just say, yeah, I can do it, knowing from your sister, your real sister, from your real family, not those that are your extended family, but those that are in your family that
Mhm.
know everything about you. People, that's what I want you to get on today. They know everything about you, and they're saying, yes,
Yeah.
this call is authentic. Yes, walk in that. Yes, get that
Mhm.
done. You can do it. And it was some scary moments those first
Mhm.
few years, but I made it through. And then when D came along with Minister D, with her call, it was kind of like I had been like training all those other years, and I had that experience that I could share some
Mhm.
insight. But a lot of times, even now, having been in ministry so long, there are still those moments when you encounter things where you're like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad that I have that support, because it does make a major difference in the week. When you're a pastor, you have so many people that want things from you. When you're a minister, they take from you. And so through the week, it's so good that I'm able to call my sister on the phone and be able to just laugh, giggle, be me, share things about my life as well as ministry, and be able to go on from there. Because the life of ministry, people feel, oh, you have friends overflowing. No, you
Mhm.
don't. You have to keep yourself in a place that you're able to help somebody. And so a lot of times that can be a lonely trail. It really, really
Yes.
can.
Yes.
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 Let's see here. I'm moving down here. I'm looking at my paper. I hope you're looking at your paper. Can you recall a time when your siblings provided support that significantly impacted your ministry? Well, we talked about that. They kind of go
Yeah.
together with that. So we'll just move on down to the next one.
Okay.
Practical tips for strengthening sibling relationships, Minister D.
Now that we've established the importance of sibling bonds, I think it's important, and we need to talk about how we can strengthen these relationships.
Well, the first tip, I think, and I'm sure you would agree, is
Uh-huh.
communication. Open and honest communication. It can be hard, I have to tell you, but it's the bedrock of any strong relationship. You have to be able to,
Mhm.
say it to someone, and say it like it is. Because you want it to be better. You want
Mhm.
them to reach their full potential. They want you to reach your full potential. So the first
Yes.
thing is communication, and good communication, and make time to do it regularly. We
Yes.
talk regularly, not
Yes.
just about big issues, but also about day-to-day experiences and feelings.
Right. Right. Yes, when you communicate, practice active listening. Really hear what your sibling is saying without planning your response while
Mhm.
they're speaking. Just wait. This shows respect for your sibling and genuine interest in their perspective on what they're discussing with you.
Yes, amen. I got to tell you, sometimes I'm not an active listener. People I call with all the stuff I want to talk about, and my sister just be on the phone and she'll go just yes, yes, okay, yes, and then she'll get off. But at that moment, that's what I needed to be able to
Mhm.
do, was just share what was going on with me and say it in the way that I needed to do it. But her respecting and knowing, because she's my sibling, she knows that, okay, she's got a lot on her mind, a lot she wants to say. She's going to say it. So I'm going to just, let her say it. And in that, when that happens, it makes a major, major difference in being able to effectively communicate. And then I have those moments. I've worked on it over the years of being a really, really active listener. All
Mhm.
righty. Then the second tip is quality time.
Yes. Yeah.
Spending time together, doing activities you both enjoy. It's really
Right.
funny. Sometimes we haven't talked to each other, and we'll get on the phone, and like literally we've been to the same store. We called
Mhm.
each other yesterday, and we were laughing and giggling and talking on the phone. I said, well, I got to get out this car because I'm going into the store. She said, oh my goodness, I'm already at that store. So it's like, you're the same person without
Right.
being the same person. It's just very,
That's right.
very hilarious to really experience that.
Yes.
Then having meals together, going for a walk, because we live in different cities. A lot of times we can't do as many of these things, but
Mhm.
when we are together, we're trying to make the most of our time.
Yes.
I,
Yes.
I think we really, really do.
Yes. Well, it's also important to express appreciation. A lot of times we talk to our siblings, and everybody's so busy, we never express appreciating the time that they do give, the things that they have to offer as a sibling. That's so important for siblings to always remember to express their appreciation. You acknowledge and celebrate your siblings' achievements and qualities. A simple thank you or a word of praise can go a long, long way in strengthening sibling bond. I can remember having to get some spiritual advice and just
Mhm.
advice, and no matter what it is, I'm able to call my sister
Mhm.
and talk to her about it, and she tell me just the way it is. She don't try to sugarcoat it. She don't try to say it that it makes me feel good. She tell me the truth, and that is something that we have to acknowledge and praise each other for, because in the worst of times we need our siblings to be completely honest with us.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly, if I can talk, that it is so important that we are honest with each other, that we are transparent with each other, because in ministry, it
All
can
right.
get heavy. It can get, what, like, oh my goodness, you can feel tired. You can sometimes get burned out. And it's so important that you're able to just have that outlet of release. Now, listen here, Minister D. I'm sitting here, and Pastor Troy is sitting here also, and I'm wondering if Pastor Troy is sharing our show with others. I'm sure Pastor Troy share it with the world. I want anyone else that's listening in for you to share it with the world. Let everyone
Yes.
know, because so many people experience the same thing that you
Yes.
and I experience. They have
Mhm.
relatives they may not be sisters like we are, but they may be
Right.
cousins, aunts, uncles, different
Mhm.
things. And it's so important to be able to have that person to connect with. Listen, as we go over the weeks, we're going to talk about some stuff, people, that cause you to say, yeah, I can remember that. You'll see our personalities come out more as we get comfortable with doing this every
Mhm.
Saturday and
Yes.
sharing with you. But I want to encourage you to tell your friends and neighbors to tune in, because listen here, we are sisters in ministry and we are sharing with you. Another essential tip is forgiveness. No
Mhm.
relationship is without conflicts. Be quick to forgive and seek reconciliation when disagreements arise. Holding on to grudges only weakens the relationship. Listen, as an older sister, sometimes I can be a lot because I'm going to say it the way that I always feel this responsibility because she's my younger sister to make sure that the information I'm giving her is going to keep her from repeating whatever that fault was or whatever I might experience that was a hurt. So I'm trying to guide her. So sometimes I can say it strong, I can say it direct, and sometimes I can tell when I said it, it hurts her feelings. But the thing is that the intent behind it is that I don't want anything to happen with her. I don't want anything to go wrong. I don't want anybody to do anything to her. So
Right.
sometimes it's hard to
Mm.
balance those two things when you're sisters.
Yes, yes. And I can remember thinking that something was going just wonderful. And she was like, no, no, no. That is not the way to deal with that or handle that. And, I thought I was good, but I was so grateful in the long run that she stopped it when she heard it. It saved me from a lot of heartbreak and unnecessary things that I didn't need in my life. So I appreciate her for saying and stopping me when it's things that I don't need to even encounter. So I can appreciate her for that. And, uh, you know, uh, uh, it's just great to have somebody that will tell you no, and even though you think you're doing the right wonderful thing. So, and don't forget the power of prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Prayer for your sibling and with your sibling um, can be a powerful thing. Shared spiritual practices can deepen your connection and provide mutual support in your faith journey.
All right, now she being listen here. She being meek and talk. You know that little baby that come on the what's the name, the boss baby? D is the minister. D is the boss baby. Listen here, she's fooling y'all. She's the boss baby. It's hard. I gotta tell you, being the baby in the family with three older siblings, especially with all of us being in ministry, it can be a lot. But when she's had enough of us, when she'll okay, the boss baby will come out and will remember, okay, that she's grown, she's an adult, she's not a baby anymore. I think that's the hardest part because we're much older now. Okay, some of y'all don't be like, yeah, I'll wait. No, it ain't wait like that, but we're much older, and so she's our little sister, baby sister, and it's hard for us sometimes to let go of that. We have, I think, the set 17 out there on the Twitch game thing that said hello. Just happy to see us as sisters sharing this
Yes.
here on the thing. So what a blessing. Thank you, Descent 17 on Twitch Game
Thank
Sister.
you.
That's the kids
Yes.
on for just saying hello. But I agree with you. Prayer is so important. It's so
Yes.
important that we pray for each other, that we pray together. Our parents, I can remember, our parents were some praying people, had like crazy faith. Our mom and dad had crazy faith that if
Yes.
God told them to do it, they believed it. They involved us in so many things that we didn't even
Hmm.
understand would shape us into what our calling was. It's amazing that they could see our calling as little
Yeah.
children.
Right. Right.
That's
Right.
really, really amazing that they would do that. And then my dad didn't have a problem saying, this is what you're going to do. And so he kind of helped to guide that, to keep you on that track
Yeah.
of what it was God had called you to do. Strengthening
Yes.
sibling relationships. We've been talking about communicating consistently, quality time, appreciation, forgiveness, prayer. Some of these practices, they make a major difference in everything that goes on in our life. Guess what, Minister D? We back at the questions again. What are some ways you and your siblings communicate effectively?
Um, we have over the years we have learned to just be straightforward with each other. We don't. we don't sugarcoat anything. We just tell it the way it is, and I think that um, makes for a better relationship because you can always depend on that communication to be honest and pure at heart. So, um, just
Yeah, I agree with you. I was thinking
yes,
about it as you were talking right then, and you were saying, what are ways it's effective. I think it is effective. The one great thing, though, is that we always say, I love you. We do it in love. It's always meant for the good because a lot of times when people say things to you, it can
hmm
be hurtful, especially
yes,
when they're being direct. And so I have to really work on that and watch that, not just when I'm talking to my sister, but in general. And so, because a lot of people aren't used to that dynamic, but it
yes,
makes a major difference when you can hear the truth, know that it's the truth, and then make the changes to grow because you know it was said and given to you in love. That makes a major difference in my life.
yes, yes, it does.
Yes, because a
Okay.
lot of people, go ahead, I'm
Go ahead.
sorry.
You go ahead. Go ahead.
Listen here. That's because some people and the kids they laugh at me at the church when I'm talking to them, because you can't be great, you can't do or reach the
hmm
potential. You can't do the things that God wants you to do or has called you to do with excellence if
hmm
you can't handle people communicating with you effectively. If you're
Yes.
always upset, you can't take constructive criticism, then ministry definitely may not work out to be, even though it may have been the call for you to do
Yeah.
because you can't handle it.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, you
Yes.
really, really have to be
hmm
able to handle because people, listen here, church people, love y'all. Y'all will say some stuff. I'm gonna say
Yes.
it, my sister ain't gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Y'all will say some stuff, y'all will do some stuff that'll cause the preacher sometime to say, I can't believe they said that to me. I can't believe they acted like that with
hmm
me. Yes, they
Yes.
did. But
Yes.
the thing is because you've been able to handle it when it came from somebody with love, when you
hmm
hear it and you don't know where it's coming from, you're able to stay
Yes.
in that composure that you're supposed to be in. You're able to remember who you are, who's called you, and what you do. And so you won't falter in that
hmm
moment.
Yes.
You really
Yes.
won't. You really, really won't. Let's see. I didn't get off track. Y'all know I have. How do you handle conflicts with your sibling to ensure they don't weaken your bond? Well, we
Um.
kind of talked about that all around. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think I will let you elaborate on that.
Well, I'm thinking here when it's saying
hmm
handle conflicts with your siblings to ensure they don't weaken your bond. I
Right.
think even when you've had a hard talk, I
hmm
think it's so important that you come back on that next talk with love, talk
Yeah.
about things a little less, and then be just aware of what you're saying. Because how would you feel
Yes.
if they said that to you? And so, a lot of times, I have to, in my mind, not just when I'm talking to you or anyone, I have to think to myself, okay,
Right.
is that something I want them to say to me? And how would I feel if that was said to me in that way? And I think with us, we do a great job of that. We do a
Yes.
great job of loving on each other. Not just you and I, but our brothers will too when they call us.
Right. Right.
Especially Pastor Tim, he'll call us
Huh?
and he'll talk. He does a great job of that, of loving on us, talking with us, kind
Yes.
of reinforce who we are, to remember who
Yes.
you are.
Yes.
Because we don't have our parents anymore; they are deceased. The late great Reverend Dr. J. Meriwether Sr.
Yes.
and Lady Betty Rose Atmore Meriwether. And
Yes.
so all we have for our interbond, other than our spouses and our children,
hmm
grandchildren, it is our sibling relationship. And so I think a lot of times the way that we ensure that we don't weaken it is that we come back with reinforcements of love.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So look at
Yes.
here. We done already got down here to the
hmm
conclusion. We've been on here almost 30 minutes, believe it or not, Minister D. You are doing
Yes.
so well. Your sister said, hop, hop, um, you did good, girl. Oh, you did both of them. How to say, then I got to do mine. I don't never do it right. Wait a minute. The lady said, face them to you. Then I don't know. I'll never do it right. Anyway, strengthening our sibling bond is not just beneficial for our personal lives, but
Mhm.
also enhances our ministry. These relationships can be a source of great joy, support,
Mhm.
and inspiration.
Yes, we hope today's discussion has inspired you to invest in your sibling relationships and recognize their immense value. Remember, a strong sibling bond can be a pillar of strength in both your personal and ministerial life.
Yes, and once again, Minister D and I'm Pastor T, Minister D. We thank you for joining us today on Sisters in Ministry. We look forward to continuing this journey with you as we explore more topics that matter to our hearts and our ministry. Minister D.
Until next time, may your relationships be blessed and may you find strength in the bonds you share.
Amen.
Goodbye and God
Bye.
bless.
Goodbye and God bless. Until next time. Bye. Happy
Bye.
faith. Okay. Bye.
Bye.